Hi, my name is Barry Manandi and you're listening to the ZiFM Sport podcast.
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted!
It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in! And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
It's ZiFM Sport on a Tuesday, Top Hits Tuesday. We'll keep you updated on what's happening in the second one-day international between India and Australia in Nagpur. And in the beautiful game, the second leg of the round of 16 action in the UEFA Champions League gets underway this evening. And Ajax sends an opportunity against Real Madrid. That all comes up later in the show. But first things first, we will be talking Wabaya, the Warriors. Their coach, Sunday Chidzambwa, is confident the players named in the provisional squad for Zimbabwe's final AFCON qualifier can get the job done and seal qualification. That leads, that's where we'll camp out. Who is camping out? It's Alois Bunjira, it's Mike Madoda, it's our producer Sean Tafirenyika, and of course me, Barry Manandi.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
Yes, indeed, our Warriors go and do battle on the 24th of March at the National Sports Stadium. And Sunday, Mofu Chidzambwa has named his Warriors. The provisional squad is out for that qualifier against Congo Brazzaville right here in Harare. The Group G match will be played, as I said earlier, on the 24th of March. Let's hear the squad announcement from Warriors team manager Wellington Mpandari.
The goalkeepers: George Chigowa, Edmos Banda, Petros Mari, and the defenders: Nyasha Munetsi, Jimmy Zingai, Alec Mudimu, Teenage Adebe, Ronald Mbizai, Divine Lunga, Tendai Darikwa, God Knows Murira, and the midfielders: Butelez Wengue, Marvelous Nakamba, Danny Piri, Richard Achiro, Ovid Karuru, Tafazo Gutinyu, Kama Biliat, Knowledge Msona, then Kuda Kwachi Maachi, Talent Chawapiwa, Kelvin Lunga, Leroy Mavunga, and the strikers are as follows: Tino Kadewere, Nox Mtizwa, Abbas Amid, Evans Rusike, Admiral Muswe, and these are the 28 players that were called into camp.
Well, that's a pool of players he can select from, and Sunday Chidzambwa himself is confident the squad he has picked can seal Zimbabwe's qualification for AFCON. Let's hear from him before we hear from the team in the studio on their thoughts.
The players have done very well in the last few games we played. We are on top of the group, and as we are leading the group, that puts us in a bit of pressure. But it's football. But I'm sure with the current kind of players we have, we will qualify for the we will be able to qualify for the AFCON finals in Egypt. We are playing at home, and I think, as you know, as Zimbabweans, we are starved of victories in this country. My wish is for us to play well in front of our home crowd and get the 3 points and qualify. And top the group. But as you know, anything can happen in football. But our wish is for us to play for 3 points.
We top the group. A draw will do. These are the men that have been selected. How you feel, Michael?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think we have enough quality to compete on the day and to get the result. Make no mistake about it, but I would have loved to see, of course, a couple of players who are not there named in that squad. But as it is, I think it would be perhaps unfair of us to dwell on those that are not there. I think the focus for such a critical match as this one is to focus on who's there and how we can bring out the best out of the players that have been called up. I'm particularly excited, of course, to see Knowledge Musona now getting a bit of game time. His performance is critical at the National Sports Stadium in that game versus Congo. He has been off the boil for the last 6 or 9 months, and for him to be getting game time means that he may be coming here in a better condition than he was the last time out. The last time he was distinctly off the boil, and Zimbabwe didn't function effectively in attack. If we can get Kama Billiot on song, if we can get Knowledge Musona playing at the level that we know he can, Zimbabwe can win this match, because I believe we have the quality to get the job done.
Bunj, German-based Kevin Lunga, along with Leicester City's forward Admiral Muskwe have been included in the squad. I know Lunga is a player that you really, really like. You must be pleased about that, and hopefully he can do well in camp and do enough to get into that final 18.
Yeah, I hope he does. I don't know how he's going to cope with the other guys. Sometimes the playing system and also the teammates can actually differ and affect somebody. I hope he has got the guts, and the personality, the character to come in and say, you know what, I am Zimbabwean, my father played here, he played for this team, so I can also come in here and do the same. I want that kind of character from him. I don't want him to become and be timid in the team, like I'm new here, he must just get on with it. But like Mark said, I think I'm satisfied with the team that has been called up. Whenever I see the attacking three, my favorite attacking Zimbabwean three, Kama Billiard, Knowledge Musona, and Ovid Karuru. When I see those three in the team, man, you bring any team in Africa, I'll pin my hopes on the guys, because I like attacking football, and when those guys are in the field, I just believe that we are going to be attacking. Hopefully that Murphy is going to play that formation, that kind of formation that allows those three to go forward and play.
I'm particularly excited, Barry, about the inclusion of Butolezwe, who's coming in from Amazulu. He has been performing, Butolezwe Ngube, performing week in, week out in the ABSA Premiership. One of the standout players in the ABSA Premiership, playing in that midfield role where he's able to go box to box. He provides assists, he's strong in the tackle, and he's capable of getting the odd goal here and there. And he's a player, a real dark horse that I believe that Morpho can turn to try and give us that drive in midfield versus the Congo when they come to the National Sports Stadium. This is the type of game, I believe, where we shouldn't employ cautious tactics. No. Because if we are cautious, it may haunt us, because, there's always this thing where you're able to keep it tight for 89 minutes, and then just one mistake, in the dying minutes means that you don't have the time to recover. So this is the game where I would love us to set out on the front foot, get a goal early, get another one, and then make sure that we put it beyond Congo to win in the National Sports Stadium. Remember, the objective is to qualify. A draw will do, but how do we arrive at qualification, I believe, is by playing positive football, because we have the players in the squad to play positively.
Voice there of Mike Madura talking about the fact that there is now competition in that holding midfield role between the likes of Danny Piri, Marvelous Nakamba, and now Butolezwe Ngube, who we've seen play for Amazulu so well, and hopefully he can bring that form into the Warriors as well. When are they getting together? When will they assemble? Let's hear from Wellington Bandari, who talks about exactly that.
We expect the squad to be in camp on the 18th, but then it differs with the players, because some will play their last games. Like in South Africa, most of the clubs will play on a Friday, and if you look at a player like Knowledge Msona in Nakamba, they will play on the 17th in the evening, meaning that they can only leave on the 18th and then get here on the 19th. But otherwise, the rest of the players will get here on the 18th. Then Tendai Darikwa will get here on a Wednesday because he's got a program with his club. So I'm sure he's the last player that will get here on Wednesday. The other guys, like I said, will get here on the 18th.
All right, now former captain Willeke Sunday, who came out of international retirement in November and went on to feature against Liberia, has been dropped. Midfielder is replaced by Danny Peary, who missed the trip to West Africa due to an injury. He's the one who's out. And Mike Madoda referred earlier that there are a couple of players that he felt weren't included that could have been included. I'm not going to let you off the hook. Names.
Listen, I would love to see Madananga in there. He's one of the handful of FC Platinum players who has shown the ability to compete at the continental level in the CAF Champions League. It's been a tough and a brutal campaign for FC Platinum, but he has shown in the games that he has played that he's able to hold his own. He's able to compete, and I feel that he deserves his chance.
He's playing in Africa, for goodness sake.
He's playing in Africa. He's active, so in terms
of match fit.
Yeah, he's match fit. He's sharp. He's keen, and therefore I take a look at players like Richard Hachiro of Herentals, who continues to be picked. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but is he a better player than Madananga?
Not a chance.
I think not.
They play in the same position.
They play in the same position in central midfield. So those are some of the players that I have misgivings about in terms of him missing out on selection, because I believe that his body of work, not just because he's playing in the CAF Champions League and what he has done in the 4 matches that they played, but his body of work from the time when he was at Harare City, and the season he's had at FC Platinum. Surely you reward players for form and for playing well. He's one of those that deserves to be rewarded for his form.
Alois, same question to you, just to find out who you feel has been left out, and perhaps some of the interesting selections you feel, because Leroy Mavunga, for me, keeps getting picked, but I haven't seen anything that justifies why he is there. He's a player, yes, he's busy, and you can see that he's trying to do something, but he doesn't, for me, hasn't produced the quality that makes him an immediate choice for the Warriors.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. You know, he has got potential. No doubt about it. I think if he is coached well going forward, I think he can actually be one player who can actually produce the results. But right now, I think there are other players that are ahead of him. But for me, I think since we want positive results, we want goals, I think the person that I thought could actually bring us 1 or 2, Nyasham Shekwi. Shakil. You know, he has been doing well in China. He was actually playing with an injury before the operation and still doing well. And he is fit now and ready to go. And look at it this way. You know, he is competing against one of the best players in European football, Hamsik. He is one of the best, and they are competing for that place, and they're actually saying that no, Nyasham Shekwi is going to be, they actually have turned Hamsik into a supporting player so that he can support Nyasham Shekwi because of the quality Nyasham brings. So I think we could
have a big miss.
But anyway, it's not a complaint. I'm happy with the squad. There's also Tino Kadewere in the squad, so he's one of my favorites as well. I'm sure that he will sneak in 1 or 2. He wants to redeem himself from that other game that a lot of people talked bad things about him, but I think he is one of the future of Zimbabwean football.
Well, whoever's in the 23, whoever's in the match day 18, the Warriors will trot out onto the National Sports Stadium turf on the 24th of March and will need to deliver a result against the Congo Brazzaville. 0731 168 045 for 2 reasons. Number 1, hashtag Profeeds Trivia. If you want to participate in our daily quiz questions, you'll answer 2 and you could be our daily winner and possibly in with a chance of winning our monthly prize. The second reason you need to text us is because we want to hear your opinion. This show cares about your opinion. Let us know your thoughts about the selections and also the chances of the Warriors of qualifying all the way to Egypt. Yes, it's in Egypt, the land of the pharaohs.
I'm Sunday Chidzambwa, the Zimbabwe national team's head coach, and you are listening to ZiFM Sport.
Okay, let's give you your rest of the local sports news roundup, starting with boxing, where South Africa-based World Boxing Federation WBF African heavyweight champion Alves the Bulawayo Boma Moyo has moved into the top 100 of the world rankings following his win over South Africa's heavyweight champion Ruan Visser in Pretoria on the 10th of February. According to boxrec.com, the Zimbabwean shot 42 places up the rankings and now sits on position 70 with 19 points to his name. In athletics news, after enjoying a storming start in the United States of America collegiate indoor track and field season, Zimbabwe triple jump sensation Chengetai Mapai is confident of securing a maiden berth at the IAAF World Championships later this year. The 20-year-old, who's on a track and field scholarship at Texas Christian University, TCU, celebrated yet another milestone achievement after winning the men's triple jump at the 2019 Big 12 Indoor Championships on Saturday. Mapai rose to the occasion in the men's triple jump field, which featured several of the top collegiate jumpers in the US, taking home the coveted title with a TCU record jump of 16 meters 83 centimeters. And we wrap it up with news out of the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League, and the PSL has announced the fixtures for the 2019 season. The campaign is set to start on the 30th of March, and reigning champions FC Platinum, Pure Platinum Play, will kick off their title defense with a trip to the capital to face Harare City. Highlanders Yiboso will be up against Black Rhinos, while Dynamos and Makepekepe Caps United date league debutants Mushowani Stars and Manika Diamonds respectively. Match day 12 will see the country's two biggest clubs, Highlanders and Dynamos, clash in the Battle of Zimbabwe in the City of Kings. The Harare derby between Caps United and Dimbare is on match day 15, with the Glamour Boys playing as hosts.
Qualcomm, the home of great food, celebrates its 75th birthday. As a thank you to all our customers, we have amazing price cuts on all your favorite products. Enjoy unbelievably reduced prices on our frozen boerewors, breakfast and ready-to-eat sausages. Celebrate 75 years of wholesome, tasty goodness. Available at all leading retail stores and Qualcomm shops nationwide. Qualcomm, 75 years of greatness. Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Just a quick reminder of our WhatsApp platform, 0731-168-045. Keep those hashtags coming in. We are going international with our sports news. And of course, the focus is in India. It is the second one-day international between India and Australia. And we can tell you it has gone the way of the hosts, India. They batted first and made 250. Virat Kohli making his 40th one-day international century. He made 116. He was ably supported by Shankar, who made 46. Pat Cummins, the number one test bowler in the world, he did the damage for Australia. 4 for 29 with the figures he got. Zampa was an able assistant, 2 for 62, including the prize wicket of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And then Australia, in reply, they fought valiantly, but ultimately they fell short, not just of runs, but of course the class and the quality that was needed to beat the not the number one ranked side, but many people's favourites heading into the World Cup in England this year. Australia bowled out for 242 in 49.3 overs, meaning that India won that match by 8 runs. And India doing what they do best, which is win matches, Barry, on the subcontinent.
Absolutely, winning matches on the subcontinent. The thing is that the World Cup is in completely different conditions. And yes, for them to have a series at home just before the World Cup or leading into the World Cup is great for them. But I think that those conditions in England are going to work against them a little bit. We've seen them struggle on those surfaces, and in those conditions it can get very cloudy. And if you've got good pacemen, you can sort of trouble any sort of batting lineup. But India, shucks, for the World Cup, who knows? But on this match, absolutely.
Have you seen any signs of improvement from Australia? Because you go back 9 months ago, 12 months ago, a lot of people were saying there's no way Australia is going to be able to defend their World Cup crown. But if you take a look at the series, first of all, the T20 International Series, where they beat India 2-0 on the subcontinent, and then you take a look at these two matches that they've played, they've shown signs that they are able to compete even now on the subcontinent. And I just want to run through, Barry, the tail of the tape at the end of the Australian innings, because they will be kicking themselves. At one point, they were 218 for 6. So they had 4 wickets in the shed, and then the next wicket fell for 223. The next one for 223. They tried to launch something off a revival, but they could only muster 17 runs for the next wicket. The 9th wicket going down at 240, and then ultimately the next one 242. So the tail didn't wag. And if there's one area that Australia needs to work on, it's the batting and finishing matches, because this is a match they should have won.
Classically an area that Australia has been very strong in. Australia is the one side that you knew could bat right through the lineup. Brett Lee could wield a long handle, right?
Hit a couple of sixes.
Absolutely. So you look at Australian sides of the past, it's something that they have in their locker. Now here's the thing. Australia has the ability to then get that out of the players who are trotting out for the World Cup. So for me, I've certainly seen signs of improvement. I've also seen the fact that they are so deadly with the leather in hand. That is a sure sign that Australia is going to at least be competitive, and if they can get their batting together, a side to watch.
And Alois, that competitiveness, especially from defending world champions. You know, Australia is the Brazil of world cricket. Make no mistake about it. They're the most successful team. They've won 4 out of the last 5 World Cups. And it's important that your defending champions are able to show up and compete in a World Cup. It just adds to the excitement.
Yeah, obviously, when you're looking at the World Cup, you want the big countries to actually perform well, especially the defending champions, because we want somebody to chop them down. You know, we're looking for someone to be the one.
Not to just surrender the title.
Yeah, not just surrender. We want a better way by, if somebody beats them, they have to earn it. They have to earn that respect. So when they come into the show, we want them to come in and be one of the favorites again, so that when there's a new champion, he's a worthy champion.
Hi, this is Benjamin Locke. I'm on the Zimbabwe Davis Cup team, and you're listening to ZiFM Sport.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
All right, today we're visiting Europe and then skipping over to America. Let's start in Europe, in Madrid to be exact. Rafael Nadal has acknowledged he is reaching the twilight of his career, but is not planning to retire just yet. Spaniard has endured a difficult start to the year, following up his straight sets defeat to Novak Djokovic in the final of the Australian Open, with an early exit from last week's Mexican Open when he lost to Australia's Nick Kyrgios. Next up for the 17-time Grand Slam winner will be this month's Indian Wells Masters. Across to California, LeBron James ruled the Los Angeles Lakers injury crisis as his team's playoff hopes were dealt another blow with a loss to city rivals the Clippers. Against one of the teams they're chasing for a playoff spot, the Lakers instead fell 5.5 games out of the postseason picture after suffering a 113-105 loss to city rivals the Clippers. The Lakers' bid to revive their playoff hopes will resume at home to the Denver Nuggets in the early hours of Thursday morning. And in Florida is where we land, where Tiger Woods has withdrawn from this week's Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill after suffering from a neck strain. The American 14-time major winner, now aged 43, says his previously troublesome lower back is unaffected and he has no long-term concerns. Woods won his 80th PGA title and his first for 5 years when sealing the season-ending tour championship in September 2018. He is currently ranked number 12 in the world, having recovered from the being number 1,199 after spinal fusion surgery. What a comeback of the year.
Zimbabwe's finest breed. ZiFM Stereo.
Well, you take a tap in these circumstances.
The daily sports trivia question is brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, your feed and farm professionals.
Profeeds has got a host of stores located nationwide: Chivu, Glendale, Chegutu, Gwanda, Murambinda, Mutoko, Mvurwi, Norton, Govans and Katanga. Kana uchilena zizvauti papi chaipo ku Norton. And of course, opening soon, as Barry Menandi would say, Dombo Shava Showgrounds and Musarabani. In addition to our centers, we have stock in all Metro Beach and Brown stores, in Richards, and a host of other agents. And on this show, ZiFM Sport, we bring you the daily sports trivia. 2 questions, one local, the other international. Get both correct and you'll be in with a chance of winning our fabulous prize for the month of March, which is a 4-plate Capri gas stove and oven. The draw will be on the 29th of March.
And today we are in the city of Harare, and we have got the delightfully named organizer Chemuru on the line. Organizer, wow. Good evening.
What's up, Baba?
Are you organized, sir?
Because you're organizer. Didn't you take part last month as well, you?
I did.
Heavy. Right. Okay. So you didn't win the fridge last month.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can win the 4-plate Capri gas stove. What team do you support, organizer?
Liverpool.
Yes, I am. Right, organizer, are you ready for your question, sir?
Fire away, Baba.
Right, question 1 comes from, it's got a local African flavor. Where is the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations being held?
Egypt, Baba.
Well done,
confidence.
Yes, I. Right. How are you in the world of tennis, organizer? Answer. You're going to doubt. And don't worry. Right. In tennis, which player is nicknamed the King of Clay?
Rafael Nadal.
Organizer. Well played. Thanks for playing, organizer. Koinda.
Game Ramaisari Island was making this advance to because it's a big game.
Organizer. Matima agwita ma pre-season ga. By the time wato shika ipapoka, vani wato pisa.
There is niggas for to batana, Baba.
Organizer, nice one.
Thank you very much.
Well, you take a tap in these circumstances.
The Daily Sports Trivia question was brought to you by Profeeds. Profeeds, the performance feed.
It's the Rumble in the Jungle as the Warriors of Zimbabwe take on the Red Devils of Congo in the Africa Cup Nations Qualifier. Yes, it's going down on the 24th of March 2019 live at the National Sports Stadium. Who will survive the inferno and stand out victorious? You don't want to miss this. So get your tickets now at www.clickandpay.africa. You can also purchase using EcoCash, Telecash, MasterCard, Visa, or ZimSwitch. All tickets to be bought in advance. That means no tickets at the gate. Tickets are going for $10 rest of the ground, $50 bay 15 to 18, and $200 for VIP. Entertainment from local and international artists. Gates will close at 1:30 p.m. and the match starts at 3 p.m. You've got to be there.
Good afternoon. My name is Gloria Magombo. I'm the Secretary of Energy and Power Development. Please join me tonight as I talk to Mona Lisa Dube on the issues to do with the fuel supply industry.
There we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport. All the rivalry.
The captain likes the touch paper. It is blue touch paper. Always him on Derby Day.
All the stars.
Absolutely brilliant again from Mo Salah. The twinkling feet, the ice-cold finish, the Egyptian on fire.
And all the game-changing moments.
Aguero!
All the updates. highlights from the Premier League on ZiFM Sport.
This is the league we want to watch.
All right, now Riyad Mahrez has said Manchester City are keeping calm and enjoying the pressure of the Premier League title race. Mahrez, who joined City in a club record £60 million deal in the summer, was part of the Leicester side that won the 2016 title in one of the greatest shocks in English football history. The Algeria international said City, bidding for a second successive title, were enjoying the battle with Liverpool, who are a point ahead of them. This is slightly different for Manchester City. It's not the same as what happened last season, because we all watched and marveled as City basically rode roughshod over everyone who tried to challenge. In this, they've really got a title fight.
Yeah, they've worked that, and they know that they've had it hard. This time around, it was not so easy, and that stress of chasing Liverpool. There was a time when I thought they actually believed it was gone, and now they are in a situation where they know that any slip up again, they are going to be caught up again. So I think this has been very tough for them, but what has taken them through is their depth.
Yeah.
This other fan, he was saying, Manchester City, na Sterling. Abafana Mahrez babe. The last 15 years. So I think the depth has carried them through this time around.
There's no question about the quality, Mike, but what about the emotional management? Bunj was just talking about the fact that, they were chasing, and it's a very different art of chasing than it is of defending. So you've got to manage those emotional highs and lows. So there's a big job at City to ensure that the emotional temperature is right.
As far as the emotion is concerned, Barry, I feel like the media has done quite a lot to protect Manchester City, and the hype has also done quite a lot to protect them. So they haven't felt the pressure as much as they would have. I believe that it would have been a completely different situation if it was Manchester City versus Manchester United. I believe that Manchester City, the public sentiment, the social media sentiment would have been very much against Manchester City to win the title. But they're up against a team which is almost everyone's a worst enemy.
Right.
So you've got a lot of teams and a lot of fans who don't want Liverpool to win the title, and they see Manchester City. They see Manchester City as the
neutral somebody.
As the lesser of the two evils, as it were. So they're quite comfortable to do that, and even you see it in the punditry. Because even when Manchester City slips up, and Manchester City have done so on a couple of occasions this season, they haven't been dealt with as harshly as Liverpool has been dealt with. And it's almost lost, Barry, in this analysis and punditry that Liverpool is just 1 point behind Manchester City. That Liverpool has been able to live with a team that people are calling the best side in Europe. That Liverpool has been able to compete. And it's lost on people that. So I believe that Liverpool are in a good place. Make no mistake about it, they're in a very good place. If you had asked Jurgen Klopp and the majority of fans that, do you believe that with 9 games to go you are going to be within 1 point of City and possibly with a chance of winning the title? I think Jurgen Klopp would have said, I don't think so.
I
think he went into the season believing that Man United was better than his team. I think he went into the season believing Chelsea had a better team, and that Spurs and Liverpool would possibly contest 4th place. But it went very well for Liverpool, and so I believe that Liverpool just need to learn to handle that pressure. They have to, because if they don't, I believe that City has got more experienced players in terms of players who've been here before, won titles. Even Mahrez, he's won a title at Leicester, so he's been in a situation where he's had Tottenham chasing him at Leicester, and they've seen off that pressure.
I like what you've just brought up, and I know we're going to be talking about the Champions League a bit later on in the show, but very quickly, Bunj, how important is it? Have we as pundits made a lot of something that is a nothing? Because we always talk about the fact that, these players have been there, they know the psyche of winning a championship. Is that a real thing?
I think it is. I think it is.
Because you've won championships.
I think it's a real thing. When you have been there, you have felt the pressure. Now you know.
You've been to the top of the mountain.
Yes, guys. When we are at this distance and when we are here, this is how we should do it, because we did it that time. Some players who have not been there, they can get caught up with anxiety. Anxiety is very dangerous.
Is that the Liverpool problem?
That's
anxiety?
the Liverpool that's the Liverpool problem. As I see it at the moment, there's now that anxiety. Can we just cross the line? You know, some of them, they actually want it to be 3 games to go now. Yes. 9 games, they look at 9 games, they're like, oh, come on, 9 games. So that anxiety can actually play against somebody who has not been there. Yeah. But you know, Pep is managing it. You can actually see with his interviews, he's playing it cool.
Paolo Rossi, Marco van Basten, George Weah, Gabriel Batistuta, Alessandro Del Piero. Serie A has been home to some of the world's finest strikers. And now they welcome arguably the greatest of them all, Cristiano Ronaldo, the best of Italian football on Z.
In Italy, Mauro Icardi is still reportedly refusing to train at Inter, citing inflammation in his knee. Icardi hasn't trained with the Nerazzurri since he was stripped off the captaincy on the 13th of February. The striker has informed the club's medical department of a pain in his right knee. However, the doctors have insisted that despite tests, there is no obvious injury. That hasn't stopped the goal scorer pulling out of recent squads, though, with Icardi now declaring himself unfit for the Europa League clash with Eintracht Frankfurt on Thursday. Wow. You know what? you might have your arguments with a coach. You might have your problems with a club. But I believe that you've got to show up, train, and if selected, play.
Yeah, I think he just needs to play. You know, unfortunately, there is no instrument or apparatus to measure pain. Yeah. You know, so
you can use it as an excuse.
Yeah, you can actually come and say, I've got pain. Whether you see there's an injury or not, I'm in pain. You know what? But
no,
that's not right.
That's
it is wrong.
It's a poor one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's a poor one, and also leaves a very sour taste in the mouth. Like you say, if you're contracted to a club, do what you need to do, and then when the window opens, jump through it.
Is he one then that they should sell? Because for me, it looks like after something like this, you know, even if you do stay, the relationship and the trust, it has been soured.
The relationship with the club and also with the coach.
That's what I want to say.
And the fans as well.
That's what I want to say. With the whole setup.
Institution.
With the whole institution.
Yeah. Yeah, but what makes a player feel like, you know what, I can only be captain? Because that's the gripe.
Yeah.
Well, Visser armband, and now you're sulking. You don't want to play. I must be the captain.
Nah, I don't think players should thrive to be captain. You know, that captains, you know, sometimes a club will say, you know what, someone who's just wearing the armband, but we have got 5 captains here. It comes from your quality of leadership. You've got that in you, that even if somebody else is the captain, people will just respect you, your word. You can just talk. Look at, let's say,
I think Van Dijk. At Liverpool.
Yeah,
he's not a captain.
He's not the captain.
But he's
the leader. That's all you want. You don't need to be seen with that thing on your shoulder.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you don't stay above it.
I was watching an interview of Jurgen Klopp where he was talking about some of the changing room dynamics, and he was actually saying that the leaders in the changing room are Alisson and Van Dijk. He was actually saying Van Dijk talks a lot more than Henderson, and he talks a lot more than Milner, and that he was saying that Alisson, the only impediment is that he hasn't mastered English 100%, but whatever English he knows, he uses in the dressing room. Yes, apparently he's quite vocal in the dressing room. 100%. So
the leadership is not...
It doesn't need the armband.
Yes. And you can always lead with the way that you play.
Horsepower unmatched. Torque to beat the best. Speed unrivaled. Sleek and easy on the eye. Let's get behind the wheel of football engineered to perfection. The Bundesliga, made in Germany.
Now, midfielder Serge Gnabry has signed a contract extension at Bayern Munich until 2023. The 23-year-old, my goodness, he seems like he's been around for ages.
Yes.
He's only 23 years old. Who came through the Gunners Youth Academy and made 18 first-team appearances, signed for Bayern in 2017, and has also enjoyed successful year-long spells at Werder Bremen and Hoffenheim since leaving England.
ZiFM stereo is untouchable.
4
The Champions League, the UEFA Champions League, of course, is in its business stage. This is where the men are separated from the boys. We are in the round of 16, and these are the second leg matches that kick off this coming match day, which starts off, of course, tonight. 2 matches tonight, and then another couple of matches tomorrow night, and then more matches next week. Tonight's action, Borussia Dortmund versus Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham currently lead that one 3-0. The Germans have it all to do at the Westfalenstadion. Real Madrid take a 2-1 lead to the Santiago Bernabeu, where they host a very young but gifted Ajax side tonight. But you should think they'll have too much experience for the Dutch youngsters. And then tomorrow night, of course, we'll touch on PSG and Manchester United. United trailing by 2 goals in that one. And then FC Porto and Roma, which is delicately poised. Now let's start with tonight's action. Ajax coach Erik ten Hag believes Real Madrid will feel the absence of boss Sergio Ramos in the second leg of their Champions League tie. Ramos is suspended for tonight's clash in Madrid, a last 16 tie, which Real lead 2-1 on aggregate. The defender was given a 2-match ban by UEFA, which found that he had deliberately been booked in Amsterdam. Ten Hag feels Madrid will miss the centre-back, saying Sergio is the boss on the pitch and in the back line. Let's also get the post-match thoughts of Real Madrid manager Santiago Solari.
The team is very strong. These players have a lot of experience and a lot of personality. That doesn't mean they're happy about what has happened recently. Not at all. But they can be in peace, having done their best and having given 100%. They have produced their best effort. But it wasn't enough, so we can't be happy about it. Of course not.
I think I may have said post-match there. It's a pre-match. The game hasn't been played. I would like to assure our listeners that it's not fixed. We're going to have some litigation coming in from UEFA after that. Ramos will be missed, Alois.
No, I don't think so. You know, I don't want to think that Ramos is going to be missed. You know, they're carrying a healthy lead. I think this is a chance for one youngster to come in and take over. And, you know, it's time. Somebody gradually must start taking chances. I think Ramos at this point in time he needs to move to China.
Gaza, you know where he's going to be missed. The dark arts. This is an Ajax side. This Ajax side can play, and they might need that thuggish behavior just to rough up those youngsters. And Ramos is a master at that. That's the one thing they're going to miss.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? When you're facing youngsters that are stubborn, you know, I saw those youngsters. They're actually kind of like stubborn. I think they will just defy that and play. You know, I'm worried about Ramos' speed and the way he is playing at the moment. I think it's time that he should actually start calling time up.
But not China.
No, I was just being sarcastic.
Maybe Man United.
I was just being sarcastic.
Would you take him at United?
Not really. Not really. Not really. You know, Manchester United, we I think we should be looking at players like Laporte, you know, those kind of defenders that can come in and
really good defenders that will give you 6-7 years of service.
Yes, now not those that are retiring. But I think it's going to be a good game. What I think is going to be missed from Ramos is the leadership and his relationship with the home fans.
Yeah.
You know, the home fans,
he gives them confidence.
They believe in him whenever he is there. You know, he gives that connection. That's what it's going to be.
And just as we wrap it up, Barry, your quick thoughts on Borussia Dortmund and Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham with a 3-goal advantage. They go to the Westfalenstadion. It's going to be over 80,000 fans strong. Of course, the fans are hoping that Borussia Dortmund can pull a comeback. But based on their form lately, Borussia Dortmund, it's just hope.
Do you know what? If it were the Borussia Dortmund that we saw sort of December coming into January, I would say absolutely.
There was hope.
Because there was hope. And that 80,000 crowd would certainly come into it. But now, with this Borussia Dortmund side, they're lacking confidence, lacking results. I doubt that this will be turned around. 3 goals is a lot.
Well, the one thing that we are lacking is time. It has run out, but you can catch the show tomorrow, Wednesday. Wacky Wednesday, not to be missed. 6:05. Join Alois Munjira, Barry Manandi, myself, Mike Madoda, and Sean Tavirinika. Possibly Pause should be in the studio, so should be a good one.
Possibly Pause. May God richly bless you. That's my story. And I'm sticking to it. Manandi, out.
sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.